welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. So, about a month ago now, or more at the time of this video coming out, I bought a vintage bike, a Raleigh 410 Capri that I've been restoring. I have another video where I just go through the cosmetic process of like cleaning it, degreasing it, and seeing what I might need to replace on it. In this video, I'm replacing the tires and inner tubes on the bike and learning how to remove the tires. So before I get started, I'm deflating the inner tube. That made it a lot easier to pull the wheel out, the outer tire off, and the inner tube off. The tire levers I bought from REI were very helpful and kept the tips of my fingers from getting pinched between the tire and the wheel rim. So because this is a vintage bike, a lot of the advice that I was finding on YouTube for how to remove the wheels was not very helpful because the technology just wasn't there yet. In my case, all I had to do were remove the nuts on either side of the axles on both the front and rear tire and pull them out. So here is a better view. This is the rim strip that I pulled out and inspected. There's a little, looks like a little rust in here. A little bit, not a crazy amount. It's in pretty good shape. So a lot of these videos that I watch to learn how to change this tire, they assume that you know all of the words that they're using. So the first thing I did to change my tire is I moved the chain so that it's on the shortest cog. That's what these things are called. And moved it so that it's on the shortest one so that it gets the most slack. So because I am so lucky, I have axle nuts on the front and wheel tire. So I have to unscrew these before I can take the wheel out. See, this is why I'm gonna do all of this stuff before I move, because it causes chaos and mess, and I'll already be stressed, I know, from the move and everything. So if I can get this worked out before I move, that would be amazing, and I can just focus on riding it instead of finding everything I need and when is it gonna arrive and making sure that I have the right things for this thing and that thing. So I ran into another snag. The tire pump that I was using that my landlord had kindly lent me does not work. So now I need a pump. It was something that I was putting off because I didn't have a tire pump and I know that I would need one, but I really just wanted to be on the road and figure out all the extra stuff later. Like, I know I need a bigger seat, and I know I want to replace the handlebar tape or foam, whatever is covering it, because it's falling apart. But I thought that I could, wait a little bit on those things. And now, okay, so where we are right now is I started giving the old tires a closer look and found some pinholes in them. So right there, if you guys can see right there, is a teeny tiny hole. There's a couple of them along the old tire. So both of these gotta go. So one thing I could show you guys at least before I let you go for the day are my new tires. Aren't they pretty? Yeah. They're not foldable, so they had to send them in this huge bag. Huge box, I meant. But so pretty. Look. So a lot of the advice that they give you on these cycling channels and stuff is basically to read the bike. So look at the different parts of the bike and see what the size and measurements are. So this is the old inner tube. It uses the Schrader valve. This is where the size is, and this is the wrong size. Whoever had this bike before put the wrong size inner tube into the tires.
Upside down, it's all topsy-turvy. Oh. Thank goodness it's not a total loss. Booze? What do you have to drink? I'm going to need a receipt for that. For all of this, it's my personal stuff.
I don't suppose this will help you at all.
Unfortunately, it is not permitted, especially while on watch.
You realize there's no water, don't you?
All deserts have water. It only waits to be found. Right.
Pumped up the new inner tube just a little bit, enough to see that bubble in the inner tube means that it is defective and is not going to stay on the tire once it's fully pumped up. I did not realize that. Went ahead, installed it on the tire, put the new tire over it, went out, rode my bike. It popped right out of alignment, and I ended up having to send it back for a refund. In addition to that, the other inner tube burst, and I ended up having to send that one back as well. Shape. I don't know why these bubble like that. That's weird. Anyway, so where is the valve opening? Aha. Valve opening is here. I saw a video where they recommended starting from the opposite side where the valve opening is and ending there because it keeps it from being pulled to either side while you're putting it back on. Yeah, I see why people do it the opposite way because it's just easier for especially the first time. So actually there's a washer on this, and the washer is supposed to be on the outside of the wheel because it holds the valve in position. I could see that because it is hanging out there. So there we go. In position, and it has to be sticking out straight. It's not supposed to be off to the side or off to the other side because it can become cut off by the rim. And push it up over the rim, pull it out. Make sure to go around the entire tire, make sure everything is tucked in. Okay, so here is the Presta valve. So now that I have filled the tire, all I have to do is screw this back down until it locks here. That way when you press it, no air comes out. Okay, yeah, this is a much better view. So after I inflated the tire, this was loose and it was up here. So when you press down on it, air comes out. So now I'm going to tighten it You can hear little squirts of air coming out. And then I put the cap on. Oop, drop the cap. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. Put the cap back on, and that's it. So these are a pain to manage, I have to say. They have several moving pieces and moving parts, and not something that I would get in theory, but my tire looks so good now. Boom. She's looking good and clean because I cleaned everything. And now I'm going to put the tire on the back wheel and then start the reassembly and see how that goes. Okay, so quick check-in. I've put the back wheel back on. It's fitted into the areas here, on the other side there. And I have run the chain back around the lowest cog in there so that it goes all the way back around the way it's supposed to. And now I just have to put the bolts back on. I use my hands because it's a little faster this way. And then I go back in with that and tighten them again. So I have a quick side note about these, and reason number 101 why I don't like them is because, number one, it's made up of 3 parts. So you have the base, this washer, and then the inner tip. And these caps, if you press down too hard and want to get them on tightly, there are 2 areas on the tip that's not a good one. But on this, that where you can screw things in here and then here. And when I took the cap off because I wanted to add more air, it took the whole damn tip out of the base of the valve. So then all the air came rushing out. So these, I don't like these for so many reasons, and that is number 101. And then everything fell apart. One inner tube was defective and wouldn't stay on. The other burst. I ordered new inner tubes and a floor pump with a PSI, pressure per square inch gauge. So this is a part of my REI order. You all know that I ordered new tires from them and tire levers. Well, I had to order some more stuff, which I knew was going to happen as soon as I tried to skip steps or go without certain things. The bottom was open right there, but this is a tire pump. Okay, this is it. The Bontrager Charger floor pump. This was actually on sale when I purchased it, luckily for me, and it has a pressure gauge at the bottom. I don't think it was damaged, even though it was kind of poking out the side a little bit. I don't think it was. And I decided not to get a mini one in the case of this one because I'm not going to be riding my bike like that. I feel like if I was riding it super long distances and want to have something to carry with me just in case, that would be it. But for my purposes, this is just fine. So my order from Amazon finally arrived. I ended up buying these really, I'm not going to say cheap because I haven't used them myself. Inner tubes from the Bell brand. It's the brand they have at Walmart and Target, so do with that information what you will. But it was the only these are the only inner tubes that I could find in the size that I needed. So it says best for road, which is technically what I'd be using these on. The size is exactly what I need, and I got 2 of these and a Fruit of the Loom men's sweatshirt because I love them. So I'm going to recycle all of this. I feel like that box was really big for just these 2 items and a soft textile like a sweatshirt, but we are gonna try this one more time. So I just finished inflating the tires after installing them. They seem fine. So let me tell y'all, when I rolled this out into the hallway, it was like 10 minutes after I had inflated them to the proper PSI as indicated by the gauge on the bottom of my pump. The inner tube burst and scared the ever living out of me. So I'm gonna leave this here for like 10 minutes before I move it, just to make sure that everything is good.